Keon Johnson on the drive.
Out Zaire for three. Too strong. Rebound. I beg your pardon. Clowney. Keon Johnson. Got by Jaren.
Shot clock is winding down. Set it up. Keon Johnson rising up. The crank. Keon Johnson earning minutes in this rotation. Johnson, is he feeling it? He is. On downtown. They run it through Simmons. Johnson, head and shoulder fake. He's taking over. It's like 13 points. Goes to work against Terry. Swing. Keon Johnson. He's not human. Lead has been 17. Johnson gives it up to Johnson. It's a cute.
Outstanding player for the champion New York Liberty. That enhanced team recently.
Keon Johnson slips it in.
Screen. He draws him up. Kick. Keon Johnson. Got three. Wilson. Kick. Johnson pulls up. Three.
That's the ball. Johnson ends up with it, and he scores. You can see Keon
By the Cavaliers are taking this 9-point lead. It represents their largest. Keon Johnson, however, has an answer. Thomas 6 and opening. He'll back up top for a Johnson 3 that rounds it up. Simmons, you give him room. Keon Johnson.
And the thing is, if you're Jose, you don't have to help as much.
Steps on the floor, he's kind of a triple-double. You got to stay with your hand.
There's an assist right there.
You got it.
From the first meeting. Johnson lines it up. Johnson penetrates. Johnson to Johnson. Q-tip. Keon Johnson. Third shot attempt. Missed the first two. Nice move by Keon Johnson.
in and out of transition, creating havoc.
9 points in the third quarter for
It's straight. Milton, one more to Johnson for three. Got it with .4. Milton more than anything. Johnson, where have you heard this before? Gonna play.
They don't have the classes. They don't have to play it. He's from his reason. So he's independent. No one for three. Extra possession for Tyrese Martin. Flying. That's the thing. You lose sight of your... You don't handle it.
I think Jordan Fernandez is just sticking with this group.
Johnson able to sneak in behind Jones. Simmons eyes up the floor, finds his streak in Keon Johnson. Sets up the fly by on out. You can't run next to these guys.
6 assists. Johnson got 3. Ahead. Milton lays it up. No slap down. On the follow by Keon Johnson. To Johnson. Back to Johnson. Q-tip. 2:20 to go in the fourth. Johnson, jump shot. Dunks for 3.
Good-looking shot came off of a defensive
Action will fall to 9 and 11. Johnson kisses it off the window.
opportunity to sit and watch this on live here tonight.
Keon Johnson cans a triple.
Johnson. Oh, yeah. Ahead to Johnson. Johnson takes. Johnson with a couple of confident pulls.
Well, in
From Orlando. Johnson elevates it. First, they took it over 11 times between the second and third. Johnson spins it. They should. Keon Johnson.
hits the three. Silky from Johnson.
Silky Johnson.
Johnson, fake. For Keon.
I have a feeling there was a different spot in the game. That's why it's so challenging. Johnson hits the three. That's first back and forth game at Barkley. Johnson catch. Finney Smith drives. Schroeder. Quick swing. And Keon Johnson out of the corner for three.
Right now, he clipped it in right where it needs to be.
Keon Johnson hits his second three of the game. Next, Grizzlies has a margin
About making sure that the pace at which they want to play is there.
Keon Johnson hits a three to start the second half. The takeaway. Odd man rush. Keon Johnson. This is play by Simmons defensively.
Keon Johnson. The ball there. Thompson went for it. Keon Johnson's going to fire and hit a three. So they crack 100.
In the corner, right? Try and play good defense and just space the corner with the ball. That's meaning more dribble handoffs. Just put the ball in my hands more.
Definitely a few from top.
Oh, okay.
That's a few from top as well.
Basically about 50%.
That's a welcome thing for him. Keon Johnson knocks in a triple. Well, the Nets. Simmons, nice line for Keon Johnson. Washington strength is in trouble when they get into the open court. The three was missed there by Clowney. The rebound put up and in by Keon Johnson. That's what Keon Johnson has the turnaround. Double-figure scoring game of the season to come out of these last two games. Keon Johnson. Keon Johnson on laser beam from down. 23 left in this game. He got about 20, and that's a sneaky cool drive.
Gives it up to his teammate, Keon Johnson. But I think the most important part is that we made one another better. We're still close, but it's more like Instagram likes and comments. Not that we're going to do up here tonight. It's back to basics. Keon Johnson with the dunk. Now for the Bucks. Johnson looking.
One that play right there, get his guys in the spots, get him at the miss and
That's first lead. Between the last moves, spinning off the finish.
Johnson trying to make it happen. Pump fake and a jump. For Keon Johnson. The Nets for jump step, floater. Johnson. Somehow gets it back to Johnson. Exactly. Got a challenge Wembanyama off the drive. Johnson going to take it. San Antonio. Johnson to the rim. Johnson over to himself. Yes, sir, from downtown. Johnson and Clowney. Johnson shooting. 20 points.
Stands where even if you are right around the basket, there's not much.
Johnson is feeling it right now for Brooklyn.
A little bit of everything too. He's knocking out three-point shots, going downhill to get to the front of the rim. Good floater there.
5 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Gets it across. Trying to take advantage. Deep corner three. Keon Johnson top leader.
Keon has hooked a little bit on this. That's what we have. Obviously has been working on that. Here is a three-point shot by Keon Johnson. It's this Nets team. Not a good rebounding team. Keon Johnson, a soft floater. And a set of screen. Johnson drives and lays it in. Uncontested, easy 2-point. Pass goes inside to Johnson. He's fouled on the play. And Keon Johnson. Isaac working. A high floater, no good. Tap is good by Johnson. Great effort by Johnson.
Here's Johnson. He's asking for a screen, Jack. He's going to turn and fire. This is a team that will shoot the three. Brooklyn. Up fake. Johnson. Corner three is good. Brown is trying to close out on that shot in the corner. And flying around defensively, but they got basketball. Solid fundamental plays. Keon Johnson with the left. You got a nice point. 14 to 3. What are those guys shooting threes for? Here's a corner three. Keon Johnson. He's only 29%. Guarded by Scotty. Defense there. And Johnson attacking. 21 now. Grady with 22.
Against Toronto, so that's on the back end of a back-to-back, and the finish there for Keon Johnson, who's in his. Well, you know, it's that different format here this year. It's like teams of 8. Deficits 14. Johnson.
Superstars will be there and show up. There's just one thing.
Another nice, nifty finish. Johnson left to right. Got it.
Because you have better point guards that have championships.
Johnson finishes tonight.
Williams fakes out Halliburton, swing. Johnson lines it up. Keon Johnson. That was a pass for Sharp. Clearly it was a shot for Motors ahead. Takes it in for 2. Timeout called by Rick Carlisle. 2:42. Johnson catching fire. On the James Harden play.
Well, you got very excited about that.
Keon Johnson hits the floater. And the Nets are once again within.
Fluidly, so when they have been able to do that, it's come easier.
Johnson nails the triple.
Rescued. Now Johnson for 3. That's Keon Johnson, and Michael Malone calls his first timeout. Johnson working his way inside. That has tremendous athletic ability.
Just as we're talking about missing shots, Johnson steps up and definitely in the corner.
There's 4 points so far as the Nets get inside. Johnson at the horn. Other than that, heavily Johnson for 3. And he knocks it in. That's too easy. Keon Johnson knocks one in. He's only shooting 30%, but he's a little bit better than that. Long-range 3 is good. Keon Johnson has finally got one to go. 97 Denver, Johnson. And Johnson drops in the triple. Keon Johnson.
You get a feeling that there's some things that are going to come along and do this.
Keon Johnson for 3.
That's good, Johnson.
Check day number 20. Simmons passes out once again over with Keon Johnson. That's a second triple. That's really
Spots away. Couldn't strike there, but just a couple of defenders. So he gets the wide open.
Nice no look. Good defense as they bottle up. Johnson. He lights up a triple. And Johnson will call time. As the and stolen by Williams on the advance. Johnson, a two-hand jam. 57-48 count.
buckets in a row.
Running right-hander up and in.
It's good to see the former.
Guard out there, boys. Sets up Johnson. Trouble got Keon Johnson with a three. That was all manufactured.
Against a team, as Jim has put it, looking towards the future, and a game tomorrow night on the road in Fort. Johnson able to feather it in. 4:15 to play in the second quarter. Keon Johnson now with 6.
Controls things with them on the offensive end. Johnson all the way, and it falls over the rim. Teammates, I think a pretty good frame on him, too. Johnson is down and one. Easy layup that time. Engine of second half action. And they do have the first 2 baskets, and it's Kurt. 3, got it, they're still in it. 2:18.
He scores in transition. Johnson able to slip to underneath.
Johnson 7 to shoot. Johnson drives. And 1. Johnson lost it for a moment. Johnson.
With the lead in.
Keon Johnson with a scoop to the hoop. Here under a minute to play in the first. Johnson turns the corner. Gets the roll as he challenges Iguodaro. Grabbed by Claxton. Cleared for Johnson. His 3. So now down 58 to 42. For Keon Johnson. Richards might have jammed his hand. Johnson 7 to shoot. Long strides and lays it in with a left hand. That was assertive. Johnson makes his move. Johnson keeps in the clock. Fires. Keon Johnson on target. Johnson off the window. Johnson tips off.
To all of this new wave of Canadian basketball. The other thing is, and you get to see it with these players.
He helps us. I go, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I work at it. I study it just because that's just who I want to be. Just a guy.
Weather outside. He is a Florida kid. Still prefers that warm weather as Johnson sticks the trail. Within 13, bucket here can go a long way. Johnson, saucy. Swing it, corner, around. Johnson, 3-ball, splash. Getting close to his return. Both Cam Thomas and Trent Watford making sure they're Wilson, swing. Open look, Keon Johnson shooting practice. It's a 3.
He laced the ball there. Excellent job, extra pass.
Johnson ball fake, drives, flips it up and in. Keon Johnson using the window. Reese Beekman here in the 4th. Johnson, his jumper, it goes. Keon Johnson with a triple.
All right, Nets got to extend hard right now. Got to see if they can force some kind of turnovers.
The zone was confounding for the Nets as Keon Johnson drains another.
That was
Johnson scored the goal and away by Russell. Oh, there's that vertical. There's the 48. Johnson with the misfire, got it back. Keon Johnson with the left hand.
Just can't get out and work against this Nets team. That's going to go a long way to who wins this game, whoever.
And a steal. Johnson. Chance for an and 1. He does it at age 34 and 159 days. I'm telling you, folks, that's the 48.
Big 2 of 2.
Yeah, those 3 guys are really shooting it. Everyone else, not so much. Keon Johnson, all-time great human beings. Strong drive by Johnson.
Cam Thomas, the microwave score, and Cameron Johnson. And that 3 goes down smooth looking straight. Johnson this time. They have been so ever since the second quarter. That really hurts after that tough group.
Johnson is a 36-second chance. It's Johnson working behind Claxton. Johnson swerves in. And finishes. Johnson steal. Johnson with 9 in his first half.
Basketball. So that's a hard card. The rest of
That's with numbers. The Walma dishes. Johnson. Johnson crosses over. Three-point game. 10 has to get in. Finds Johnson a deep three. It's a 1-point.
Johnson using the athleticism, comes up short, gets it back, and then takes the elevator to the easy deuce. Johnson loads it up, knocks it down. Right, the generic match. The term you were looking for. Yeah, hooked it to the corner. Johnson explodes. It finishes. Keon Johnson showing off the bunnies.
And for Brooklyn.
And the Nets put together a little bit of a run and some momentum. Keon Johnson. Was cooled off since that one's a tall finish over the big man. Johnson with a little English off the window. Cross, drop, kick, corner, extra. Johnson, three ball. Yes, sir. Wizards, that's nice for Keon Johnson. Inside hand finish, forces a driving kick, a roll, Johnson, three. Baseline cut off there by Rozier. He's good. Up the floor in a hurry. Johnson has a two. For Keon Johnson. They blitz Russell. Johnson gives it up to Keon Johnson. Splashes it. Russell. Keon Johnson. Keon can fly.
Yeah, Johnson, he got it. The Nets really generating some great looks. Here's Keon Johnson. Cutting through. It's a high from Keon Johnson. That is a high.
Gets rid of it. Keon Johnson on top for two. Sharp bounce. Johnson.
And Williams finding Keon Johnson underneath for the leg. First basket of the game is brought here today for Brooklyn. Also going to haul out the lead. Keon Johnson takes advantage.
It is about the same.
By Claxton. Here's Johnson.
There's the pressure.
Nice defense on Keon Johnson there. Johnson still able to sneak in.
Strong play by Johnson.
They're a +10. Johnson wheeling and working it in. Keon Johnson with a nifty team that looked like he was finally fading. Not any longer. It started sharp. Johnson's floater rims in. Keon Johnson with 14. Johnson sneaking between two defenders.
Getting between Joel and the basket.
Another Johnson in the starting unit. Keon Johnson, fourth-year player out of Tennessee. Keon Johnson, I think this is where I mentioned there for Paul George. Johnson, just too easy. Keon lays it up and in. And got to keep an eye on this guy. No D'Angelo Russell, who led the Nets on Thursday. Shot clock winding down. And Keon Johnson showing off that vert. Johnson for three. Keon Johnson.
Jim Rainey's got 5.
Keon Johnson.
Big man. Johnson.
Keon Johnson.
Got 7-second chance points, so that's some good news.
Johnson comes down and knocks down the three. Keon Johnson now in double figures.
The pedigree of Dagnall, and he's done a tremendous job in the build.
Jumper is smooth.
He looks against the best defense in the league.
Nets are 7 of 11 from the field, 6 assists, no turnovers. They keep draining shots.
Just getting into the teeth and depth of his defense.
Johnson lines it up, knocks it down. String music on the three. There's the offensive rebound, his second. Keon Johnson lines it up. Johnson rattles it. Keon Johnson loads it up. Book it, a triple. This is the largest lead. Keon Johnson. It off to Johnson. Corner. Keon. Triple.
Killian Hayes on the run, rifles it. Zaire Williams inside for Keon Johnson. Jalen Wilson the other way. Into the corner for the gun. Aaron Sharp with a dribble handoff to Keon Johnson. Sets it up, jacks it up and in. Keon Johnson with 8 all. Nice game against us in Brooklyn.
Career high 25 points, count it, and 1, Keon Johnson. Keon Johnson connects.
Keon Johnson.
Keon Johnson. Johnson accelerates on Curry and he wins it. Timeout. Warriors. Way outside. Keon Johnson. Chance at the three. Hot shooting. It stops. Backdoor. Keon Johnson. High flyer. Johnson. Strong drive. Keon Johnson. Ready position, gives it up, Keon Johnson, got three! 110 to 105.
Big shot by Keon Johnson.
Gets rid of it. Crafty on his birthday. He's got 11 points in the opening quarter. Catch and shoot. Johnson answers with a tray. Keon Johnson steps into it and puts it on the board. It's a triple.
You can make it from Carmel.
Keon Johnson banks it in to open up the second half. It's a nice track down. Johnson accelerates and scores. Happy birthday. Keon. Living.
Starting to get the ball. Third best record in the NBA. Top 5 in offense and defensive efficiency. Johnson laces the three. Might not lie.
Well, Jordy Fernandez is telling his coaching staff.
As Johnson nails another one.
Okay, maybe ball.
Can't find the open man. Johnson creates the space. Another three is there. Cornette tried his solar eclipse defense on that shot. Wood tracks down the rebound. Keon feeling it. Yes, he is. Keon Johnson. So Sharp will start this second half with 4 fouls on the floor. Johnson got hot late in the first half and stays that way. Finding nothing but the bottom. Johnson steps in front, and it's showtime. Keon takes the points now for Johnson. He's having an excellent game. Looking for a career high on the season, and he found it for 3. What a year for Keon Johnson. Nets need to get a bucket quickly here. Johnson go to the rim. A lot of contact. Doesn't matter. Banks it home. Nets within.
And it's a lot of pressure being a #1 pick. Regardless of how you see it, it's still a #1 pick. There's Johnson getting started early. I turn it over.
Giving it up. Keon able to keep his balance and finish.
Great body control. The referees and things like that, so patience is tough. It's easy to say everywhere, like I said before.
Keon stood up by Young, trying to out physical it. Johnson
it a three. He got it.
Great ball movement. With that being my last game, obviously one making the shot, but two, I started calling games once we did.
Clock wind, Krejci trying to trap Keon Johnson, lays it in.
You know, his numbers, his defensive numbers in the post are unbelievable. Again, they've done a great job of resting him, keeping him healthy. Great organization.
Celtics tied up at 15 before that bucket from Keon. And I can get you a Brian Scalabrine jersey tomorrow. Another corner three. Keon Johnson, you do not want him to start feeling.
It's presented by your New England Cavaliers, the official luxury vehicle of the Boston Celtics. But they definitely,
because their depth includes great shooting.
And the Jays are
shooting well.
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both out tonight.
And a number of them losses, all of them have been decided by single digits. Aces were just 8 of 31 on Thursday as Keon Johnson buries a three. And again, they're good over there. Watford, Turner, and Nembhard will all find. And here's a three again.
He's trying to find his rhythm on the offensive end. He doesn't normally do that.
Keon Johnson. They can still play 2 for 1. Racing down the floor, and that falls in. Keon Johnson. Slides it down to Claxton. Keon Johnson hits another three. That's his third. He's got 15. Keon Johnson. Get away from him.
Keon Johnson. For the Mavs. On the second screen, Keon Johnson hits on the follow.
they should get to his spots off that possession for Brooklyn.
Johnson one-on-one with Christie.
Fade away to Pure.
Sharp. Get ahead for Zaire Williams. Bouncing. Keon Johnson darting up the floor for two. 62-45 as we start this second half. Johnson gets to the rim.
Yeah, like how many second-round picks have thrived and flourished. And also it's about
Curls. Keon Johnson hits the three.
The Miami Clippers in 2021. Wilson probes, sidestep. Johnson fires. Connects. Watford. Johnson back in there to let it fly. He'll knock it down. Drills a three to tie it up. No service at the rim. And Johnson flips in for two. It started with a swat. It ended. 3 minutes to play in the first half. Johnson stops, pops, hits. Nice job just keeping the footwork and finally.
Zaire Williams over to Johnson, all alone for three. Book it. Presence defensively. You think they might go zone?
I would like to see them go zone switch it up because right now that paint is sweet.
Understand when it's his time. We always talk about there's 5 minutes left in the quarter or a half. Just like AJ and company. This guy, you've been a fan of his for a while. Keon Johnson with the basketball. Keon Johnson all alone. He made his first 4 threes.
And advances it up to Keon Johnson. Johnson on the drive. And one kiss is all it takes to get him. I don't know how many times I've seen a Euro to a jump shot, but he's got that in his bag. You've never seen a Euro to a jump shot with a jump shot. He shot up and scored a moment ago for Brooklyn. And he's in the open court right here. Jalen Wilson finds Keon Johnson. Challenge three still goes in. Ready. Zaire Williams has Brooklyn's last 8 points and looking for the giant killer. That goes in.
Talked about rebounding as it creates it just with him being back in the lineup, especially out there with AD. And they got 2-3 guys.
Defended well by Brooklyn in the open court. 3-on-1. Keon Johnson. Good ball movement, but then Johnson. Oh, he's going to get it back on the give and go. Wow. This was 105.
94-84. Now Brooklyn leads on the Keon Johnson reverse. What's going on here? Keon Johnson got around him. Lays it in.
Nice finish.
Let's go back.
So seeing this next generation of players do it. And there you go, right there on cue, knocking down.
The last couple of years, the lowest since early in his career. Johnson goes right to the rack, too. A point. Edwards. Step up on Johnson, it doesn't matter. Johnson is unfazed by the contested Cougars winning a classic Final Four game yesterday as Johnson bullies his way, getting up to 4-on-4 now for Brooklyn. Johnson, space, down to 3. Nothing but the bottom of the nylon. Johnson, killer!
That happened, but Johnson, what a finish.
Now he looks into the three. He's got it. 8 straight boards for Keon. Keep the ball moving. One-on-one with Gay. Swing. Johnson sends the feet. Fires. Pulls out. Johnson. One-on-one. Takes it around Levert. Elevates and scores.
Strong finish. Good take.
Johnson. Drive. Banker goes. Keon Johnson.
Over to Johnson. Johnson driving baseline. Hankin and kissed it off the window. Game clock winding down. Johnson got the three. They get in bed till 4 in the morning. Johnson, nice cut to the rim. Count it, and he'll go to the line. Technical fouls, given the teams that he's played for, as Johnson makes the three, given the teams he's played for, and the intense battles
of opponents just getting in the middle of the paint.
Spin, and put it on the board for Johnson.
Speaking of, his ability to get downhill, use that explosiveness has been very important.
That's got off to a very... Johnson, ball fake. Johnson, up and under. Raise your ya. 7 to shoot. Swing it. Johnson, open look. Money.
Movement, getting it to the second side.
Johnson drive. Johnson deuce.
Really good movement by the Nets offense and running through a set, loading it up on the strong side, and then quicker.
Johnson throwing his weight around and gets to the rack.